guy was clearly looking for trouble, and Nate, who tried to walk away, found himself up against the wall with someone walking up to him. He put his hands up as if to say, "You come closer, I'm gonna fight." The guy kept on walking. Yeah.
And we're gonna take a look at a breakdown. Let me share my screen. Let me mute the audio because I'm pretty sure that audio will get a copyright strike. Let's start. So you see here, let me go back. You see here basically Nate trying to walk away from the fights or the commotion.
Yeah, because there are more things happening on the streets. If you look at the background, there are more fights going on. But of course, the camera is on Nate because Nate is the big name. He's the big dog.
Big dog. So, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, so basically you see him walking away here. It says trying to walk away, start around. And there we have Rodney.
Rodney Powell.
Well, they put the stats up.
Well, I went and checked the stats, and I saw. So I don't know if the stats are correct, or maybe there's a different site where you can view the stats. But I saw that he had 6 losses in his amateur MMA fight and 1 win in his boxing professional fight, something to that extent. But
Well, they only show the BBJ stats. If
he's a jiu-jitsu fighter. Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
I cannot zoom in right now, but that's what the it says here, blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and it seems like the stats here are only this jiu-jitsu one. 10 by submission, 1 by disqualification, 1 by walkover, 1 by points. So I
Okay.
think that's only the jiu-jitsu stats. But anyway, let's continue. He keeps moving towards Nate. Nate he's trying to go towards Nate, right? Let's see. He's walking towards Nate. Nate is trying to avoid everything.
You know, all the people, and you can see all the people fighting as well.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, KR, I just wanna illustrate something. Some people were saying that Rodney had his hands up as if he didn't want to fight. Okay, he's a jiu-jitsu fighter.
That's also
and he's a grappler. He's a jiu-jitsu fighter and he's a grappler. And so a jiu-jitsu fighter / grappler. And he does MMA on amateur level. But MMA, you use your strongest technique, in which in his case seems to be jiu-jitsu or box. So the fact that he had his hands open like this, guys, it doesn't mean that he didn't want to fight. To be more specific, his hands were in the front like this. He didn't have his hands like this. He had the hands in the front, forward, as if to grab possibly and start fighting. Perhaps he wanted to do an arm drag, in which case you would need your hand. Perhaps he was trying to measure the distance as well, because as the Gracie, I've learned it from Gracie breakdown by Hanner Gracie and his brother.
You're also, by the way, guys, before we continue, RJ, you also practice BJJ, right?
Also a blue belt, and I can tell you that as a blue belt, you have no problems to seek with Nate Diaz. I can tell you that. But okay, so the fact that, what did you say?
Crash dummy.
You wouldn't, but let's say he as a blue belt, or as a blue belt, as a fighter, you also have a distance, right? So you have, if you are outside of arm's length and kicking a range, then you're safe in a fight. The other, if you get closer and you're within arm strike or kick or a leg kick, then you are in the danger zone. And there, as you can see, I don't know if you can zoom in a bit,
Give me
but
a second. Let me see
but
if I can zoom in.
he is definitely, Nate is definitely in the danger zone. What do I mean by that? He is just the Rodney Peterson would just need to do this motion,
This is the closest I can get.
but he's in a danger zone. So if you can clearly see that their hands, they can, if they stretch their hands, they would touch each other. They can touch each other. So, and the hands, I mean, if you imagine you're Nate Diaz, you're trying to walk away and someone walks up to you with their hands like this, in your space, you're in a danger zone. So what can you do in a situation like that? You need to,
That's a trained fighter. So this is how he recognizes this stuff.
yeah, but you need to move to a safe, you need to move to a safe space. And a safe space, you can do that by two ways: by trying to create distance, which is what Nate was trying to do before Peterson came up to him. And the other way, safe way to do that, is to close the distance and get closer, grapple with the person, which he does by means of guillotine choke, a headlock, and choke. Because when you are close to someone, the person has less explosive force to hit you.
By the way, if you look really, what I just saw, he tries to grab his arm. Look at this. Just you see right before, seems like he's trying to grab his arm. He's trying to move his arm away, right?
You need to play it in motion for me to see.
Well, cannot do it real. That's a bummer. Let me move it here. So
Okay, so there he comes and the man has his hands up. But but you're closing the distance
yeah, he's coming closer and
and
closer.
he is against the wall. So what he does is, of course, you grab the hands. Why do you grab the hands? Because that's the way he can kick. He puts one hand down,
Jesus, this guy's the worst.
but you need to go to the other video. The other video shows it better.
Okay, let's take a look at the other video.
Is that the other video? Is that
That's the other video. Yes.
oh, then I don't think if oh no,
You
then you won't see
only
it
see
here.
the.
No. Now go back to the other one. So what he seems to do is, it seems like he's controlling the hand. Of course, you need to control the hand because that's what he can attack you with. And there, the guy goes to the fight, to the other people fighting.
Jesus. Guys,
But
please, guys, before you continue, RJ, guys, when you're recording, try to focus on one thing, guys. Don't go all over the place. We're trying to create content over here, and because of you, we cannot analyze this correctly. I'm sorry, guys. Whoever recorded this, go to a recording school, man. You're screwing up. You could have sold this to Fox News, you know. Now how can you break this down correctly?
but go back because we can assume. I mean, what we can assume is
Yeah, that
that because if you go to the yeah, there he's
really
already in the lock.
it's already
No,
in the lock. Yeah,
go back.
that is here.
Okay, stop it right there. what he does by controlling the arm like that, you basically not only avoid that he will punch you, but you can also control the body. Because if someone has your hands like this and pulls you, you will go, you will follow the motion. So, and by putting one hand down, the neck becomes accessible for the lock. If someone has their hands like this, the first thing you need to do is take the hands out of the equation, so you have access to the neck. So he did it to, first of all, assess the situation. So your hands in a fight is how you can assess how close or far away someone is. He assessed that the person was close. He had his hands up, but he was walking towards him. He may or may not have known that the guy was a fighter, but the guy was clearly looking for trouble. And Nate, who tried to walk away, found himself up against the wall with someone walking up to him. He put his hands up as if to say, "You come closer, I'm going to fight." The guy kept on walking. So Logan Paul lookalike.
Dollars for Logan Paul.
Logan Paul lookalike thought, okay, I'm gonna talk to him, and I mean at that point, but he kept on walking. He kept on walking in his direction. So what?
He has his hands up here. So
and so up to this point. No, go back a bit, just a bit. Up to that point, he's in the safe zone. He's in the safe zone. He's in the safe zone. He's walking. He's in the safe zone, but he keeps closing the distance.
Oh, here you see him. I think you see Nate. He has his arms down here because this is his arm.
Yeah, he has his arms stretched.
Yeah,
and he sees. Stop it right there. He sees him coming, so he closes the distance because you're getting in my space. Stop it right here. So here, Nate can still throw a punch, but the Peterson is maybe he's still far away, right?
So far away.
But continue. What does Peterson do? He closes the distance even further. So Nate takes the hands out of the equation and then goes for the choke. That's what he does.
And then Rodney found out it was all
Rodney confused
a bad idea.
Rodney probably confused the UFC with the WWE.